Have you ever noticed that the clearest truths rarely arrive as thoughts, but as sensations? A shift in your breath, a sudden lightness in your chest, a quiet pull in your stomach before your mind has time to explain. That is not magic. That is not some gift reserved for the chosen few. That is intuition, an ancient language your body has been speaking since before you ever knew words. Intuition is not supernatural. It is biological. It is electromagnetic. It is a current woven through your cells, a silent conversation between your nerves and your heartbeat. You did not lose this wisdom. You simply stopped listening, and it was not your fault. The world grew loud, loud with instructions, with expectations, with perfectly reasonable decisions that somehow left you feeling disconnected. Every should stacked another layer of noise. Every distraction buried that inner signal deeper. The voice of your body never disappeared. It was only covered, hidden beneath survival, social training, and the belief that truth must always be proven by evidence. Yet intuition is not here to argue. It never demands attention. It does not shout to compete with your lists and plans. It waits, patiently, quietly, until you pause, until you breathe deeply enough to notice, until you soften into stillness and feel, not just emotionally but physically, because intuition does not live in the abstract. It lives in your fascia, your gut, your pulse. It is not some fragile sixth sense floating in mystery. It is intelligence written into your very tissue. And the body carries memory far deeper than the mind. Think back. You have felt it. That moment when someone's smile looked perfect, but something in you knew it was false. The way a room felt heavy before anyone spoke a word. The instant before a choice when your body tightened, not in fear, but in absolute clarity. That was not imagination. That was not logic. That was your deeper compass speaking faster than your thoughts could catch up. Science is beginning to confirm what mystics always whispered. Somatic research now shows that the body is not only reactive, it is a living archive. Every joy, every grief, every shock or longing leaves an imprint. Not in your ideas, but in your muscles, your nervous system, your cells. Trauma does not vanish with time. It settles into the body until it is released. Joy too is stored. Loss is stored. And if your body holds memory, then it also holds wisdom. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk's work on trauma reveals how unprocessed experiences become trapped in the body, shaping how you see the world long after the event has passed. The issue is not that the body deceives you. The issue is that we have forgotten how to interpret its signals. And every time you silence those signals in favor of what seems rational, you are not being purely logical. You are cutting yourself off from your most advanced guidance system. Because every sensation is energy. Every contraction, every expansion, every spark of feeling is a frequency. And the universe does not respond to English or numbers. It responds to vibration. When your chest collapses, when your breath shortens, when your muscles harden around a choice, that is not random biology. That is misalignment. That is your body signaling. This path does not resonate. And when your chest rises, when your breath flows, when your spine naturally lengthens, that is life answering back. That is resonance. That is alignment. Intuition is not mystery. It is the way your body speaks the language of truth. It is the bridge between your biology and the field of infinite intelligence. And it has been with you all along, waiting for the moment you remember how to listen. Coherence is not just a concept. It is the song of body, heart, and mind vibrating together, in rhythm with a timeline that already exists, waiting for you to step into it. If you cannot hear your intuition right now, it is not because you are broken. It is because you have been searching in the wrong places, inside endless thoughts, in signs from outside, in the voices of others. But the message has never stopped. Your body has been speaking all along. It speaks through shoulders that tense without reason, through the sudden rush of your heartbeat, through waves of peace that wash over you when nothing outside has changed. It speaks through tears that rise without story, through goosebumps that appear without logic. These are not accidents. These are resonances. They are signals of alignment, your inner compass pointing toward what is unseen but real. Here is what shifts everything. The moment you stop treating your body like a machine to control and begin honoring it as a living oracle, reality itself begins to rearrange. The field does not respond to force or overthinking. It responds to coherence, not effort, but alignment. This is not a new gift. It is a return to something ancient, a wisdom that has always been here, waiting for you to notice. And the more you trust it, the louder it becomes. The more you follow, the clearer the path reveals itself. You were never designed to figure everything out with thought. You were designed to feel your way forward. Intuition does not exist to explain, it exists to guide. And every time you follow that subtle thread, the one that loosens or tightens with each choice, you are not just changing your path, you are shifting the very dimension you live in, which is why now we turn to the breath. Because breath is not only air moving in and out, it is the doorway between the conscious and the unconscious, the only bridge between what you can control and what controls you. Breath is the hidden key into your nervous system, the way to unlock patterns your body has been holding for years, even decades. When you are in survival mode, the breath becomes shallow, rapid, uneven. It signals to your body, we are not safe, and your body obeys. Muscles harden, energy contracts, intuition goes silent. Because survival does not need intuition, it only needs reaction. But here is the breakthrough. The moment you change your breath, slowing it, deepening it, choosing it, you send a signal to every cell. The danger is gone. It is safe now. You can return home safe to feel, safe to open, safe to access the part of you that does not just react, but knows. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches this with elevated states of awareness. Through breath, energy is drawn upward along the spine, activating dormant circuits in the brain, shifting your perception into the quantum field. This is not vague mysticism, it is biological precision. When you breathe in a certain rhythm, you awaken the vagus nerve. You guide your nervous system from fight or flight into rest and restore. You move from defense into openness. And when the body opens, the soul finally has space to speak. Breath, then, is more than survival. Breath is the bridge between the human and the infinite. The ancient sages understood what modern science is only now proving. The way you breathe can rewrite the way you live. With every conscious inhale, you interrupt the cycles of fear, stress, and restless thought. With every complete exhale, you clear space in your brain to quiet the noise, space in your energy field for new possibility to enter. And what emerges in that space is often the very guidance you've been seeking, but could not hear through the static of survival. Intuition does not thrive in chaos, it thrives in coherence. And breath is the fastest path back to coherence. Available to you anytime, anywhere. No technology, no teacher outside yourself. Only you and the simple rhythm of your body returning to its natural state. The research from HeartMath reveals what mystics always practiced. When breath becomes even and centered, the body enters a state of heart coherence. In this state, the heart and brain communicate in harmony. Emotions soften, cortisol falls, clarity expands. And in that harmony, intuition doesn't just whisper, it amplifies. You don't only feel better, you receive better. Guidance sharpens, alignment arrives. This is why monks can sit motionless for hours and emerge with knowing. Why athletes take deep breaths before the most pivotal moments of their lives. They are not simply calming down, they are tuning in, and the same key is in your hands. Try this now. Place your palm over your heart. Inhale gently for 5 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale slowly for 6. Repeat 3 times. Notice what shifts, not only in your lungs, but in your awareness. At first it feels subtle, then undeniable. Because with each cycle, you are not just moving oxygen. You are reprogramming your energy field, resetting the chemistry of intuition, signaling to your inner world it is time to return. The more you practice, the less you will search outside for answers. Because answers will begin to rise from within. In the silence, in the space between thoughts, in the sensation that grows more vibrant with each conscious breath. This is not about relaxation alone. This is awakening. This is activating the quantum intelligence stored in your very cells. This is awakening the memory of your soul, waiting not for the signal of urgency, but the signal of presence, of readiness, of sovereignty. Because intuition is not hiding, it is not far away, it is waiting to be felt. And breath is the first doorway, not simply into calm, but into remembrance. And this is where we go deeper, because beyond the breath lies another layer of embodied intelligence, the biochemistry of intuition itself. What if the knowing you seek is not only energetic or spiritual, but also chemical? What if the signals shaping your greatest decisions rise not from the clouds above, but from the tissues beneath your skin? In just a moment, we will explore serotonin. Most people know it as the feel-good chemical of the brain. But what if serotonin is not only about mood? What if it is the very bridge connecting intuition with embodiment? When you understand this, doubt fades, because the wisdom you've been missing is not beyond you. It is within you, alive in your biology, waiting to be remembered. Most people don't realize this. Almost all of the serotonin in your body, up to 95%, isn't created in your brain at all. It is born in the gut and then it moves. Through the bloodstream, through the connective tissue, through the delicate wiring of your nervous system. Serotonin doesn't just digest food, it directs awareness. It influences how you sense, how you choose, how you feel, long before your logical brain even steps into the scene. Your body is not simply flesh. It is a living constellation of intelligence, an intricate web of signals constantly scanning, adjusting, and responding. Within this network, serotonin plays a vital role. It governs how tense or how soft your tissues become. It shapes the way your heart reacts to subtle waves of emotion. It determines whether you are closed and guarded or open enough to receive intuitive guidance. When serotonin flows, your body opens. Muscles soften, breath deepens, awareness widens. You become present, and presence is the only ground where intuition can land. Not in the storm of thought, but in the steady hum of a balanced body. Think about the last time you were deeply stressed. It wasn't just your mind racing, your stomach clenched, your chest felt heavy, your neck locked tight. That wasn't random anxiety. It was your body losing access to intuition. Chemistry shifted into defense. And in defense, there is no room for vision, only vigilance. But the moment you soothe the system, through breath, through touch, through nourishment, through presence, serotonin flows again. And with it, your intuitive channel clears. Suddenly you feel the answer before you can explain it. A yes rises in your chest, a no tightens in your belly. That isn't guessing. That is biology speaking truth. Even your fascia, the shimmering web of connective tissue wrapping every muscle, every organ, holds memory, emotion, tension, and knowing. It is electrically alive. It responds to breath, to movement, to intention itself. When you stretch with awareness, when you tremble, when you shake or breathe deeply, you're not just loosening muscle fibers. You're activating antennas of intelligence that speak in sensation, not in words. Because the body does not lie. It doesn't rationalize. It doesn't bargain with logic. It feels directly, immediately, honestly. And this is why the most intuitive people are not always cloaked in spirituality. They are the ones who are most embodied. They listen to the signals beneath thought. And here is where the quantum perspective enters. The field doesn't respond to what you wish or what you think. It responds to what you are. And what you are is a living symphony of chemical, emotional, and energetic signals. When serotonin balances, when the nervous system steadies, when fascia opens, your whole being broadcasts coherence, and coherence attracts clarity. So if you've ever noticed how intuition lights up after a walk in nature, after tears you couldn't hold back, after immersing yourself in water, or after dancing until your body shook free, you know the reason now. You returned to chemistry, you restored your signal, you cleared the static, and wisdom rose from within. And this is only the beginning, because once you understand that intuition is not floating somewhere outside you, but encoded into your very biology, everything changes. You stop waiting for signs from the sky. You begin listening to the ones already alive in your cells. You begin to listen differently, not to the chatter of thought, but to the quiet orchestra of sensation. The moment you do, doubt loosens its grip. Your direction stops being something to analyze and becomes something you can feel with every fiber of your being. Intuition doesn't require you to open a mystical third eye. What it really asks is that you open your gut, your chest, your cells, allowing your body to trust again, to trust life, to trust itself, to trust that its knowing is valid even when the rational mind has no explanation for it. And that's exactly where we're headed next. Even now, your body's responding. It's remembering. In just a moment, we'll explore the brain's hidden gatekeeper, your reticular activating system. You'll discover why intuitive signals often get missed and how shifting your focus can allow them through. So stay present. Keep breathing. You're not going to think your way into intuition. You're going to sense your way there. And the truth is, your body has usually known long before your mind agreed to catch up. Consider those everyday moments. That knot in your stomach when someone's words don't match their energy. The shiver that runs down your back when you stumble into the right place at the wrong time. The way a room can feel heavy the second you step inside, before anyone speaks a word. That's not paranoia. That's not overanalysis. That's information, raw, precise, pre-verbal data from your body. The trouble is, most of us have been trained to mistrust it. We live in a culture that prizes logic over instinct, cognition over sensation. So we miss what the body's whispering. The truth is, the body always speaks first, through breath that changes pace, through subtle shifts in heart rate, through tightening muscles or loosening shoulders, through micro movements you don't consciously notice. And then comes the lag, the space between what the body already knows and what the mind eventually admits. That delay is where confusion and second-guessing take root. Let's take it deeper with the lens of neuroscience. Inside your brain exists what's called the interoceptive system. Its sole purpose is to monitor the internal state of your organs, tissues, and fascia, constantly scanning, constantly relaying. This data flows upward, sparking emotional or instinctive reactions long before the neocortex, the thinking brain, gets the chance to interpret. Which means intuition isn't airy or mystical, it's biological. But the modern world taught us to override those instincts, to bury them under thought, and to live from the neck up. The result? A society cut off from its own intelligence, endlessly searching outside for answers that were being signaled inside all along. Here's where the shift happens. Instead of asking, "What should I do?" try asking, "What does my body know right now?" That single reframe changes everything. Suddenly, you're accessing real-time guidance, not projections or rehearsed scenarios. You're not forcing clarity, you're receiving it. And the more you practice, the more natural it feels to trust sensation over mental noise. I'll share a story. A woman once told me she had ignored a tightness in her chest every morning as she walked into her corporate office. She dismissed it as stress, told herself it was just the normal weight of responsibility. But that tension wasn't meaningless. It was her body signaling, "This path is out of alignment with who you are becoming." For years, she silenced it, until one day she stopped to listen. She gave that sensation her full attention, without judgment, without trying to push it away. And in that silence, clarity rose. Within months, she had transitioned into a career that truly lit her up. The tightness dissolved, not because she forced it away, but because her body no longer needed to shout once her soul had been heard. So pause here, breathe, ask yourself, what signals has your body been sending you lately? And more importantly, are you listening? What if those signals you keep brushing off aren't inconveniences, but instructions? That fatigue that lingers no matter how much coffee you drink. That Sunday night restlessness that creeps in like clockwork. That slight nausea that only arrives around certain people. These aren't malfunctions in your system. They are guides. And the more you lean into them rather than resist them, the sharper your inner compass becomes. But here's the catch. Your sensations never lie, yet your interpretations can. That's why embodiment practices matter so deeply. Until you learn to sit with sensation, to feel it fully, without numbing, without running, without spinning it into overanalysis, you can't receive its real message. Intuition doesn't speak in paragraphs. It speaks in pulses, in textures, in rhythms that ripple through your nervous system. If you've been caught in the endless loop of overthinking, stuck in analysis paralysis, the problem isn't lack of clarity. The problem is that you're trying to think your way through a process that demands feeling. The next chapter of your life won't be written by strategy alone. It's etched in sensation, and the more you return to your body, the more that truth becomes undeniable. So pause for a moment, type it, whisper it, let yourself feel it. My body already knows. Allow that truth to echo inside you. Let it ripple outward, shaping your very next decision. This is how alignment begins. Now let's move forward. The doorway into intuition isn't always stillness. Sometimes it's movement. If your thoughts are too loud and your intuition feels out of reach, try shifting your body, not as an escape from silence, but because certain truths can only surface when you are in motion. The body has its own vocabulary. It speaks not just through stillness, but through rhythm, sway, and breath reclaimed. When you activate creativity, whether it's painting without a plan, dancing barefoot in your living room, journaling, stream of consciousness, or even humming a tune with no words, you're not just making art, you're tapping into the oldest, rawest language of your being, the one that existed before speech, the one intuition understands best. Let's be clear, creativity is not optional. It's not reserved for professional artists. It's a biological function, a way your system clears emotional residue and resets for precision. Think of it as a neural detox, and science backs this up. When you let yourself create spontaneously, scribbling without judgment, moving your body with your eyes closed, or letting sound pour out without lyrics, something shifts in your brain. Activity moves away from the default mode network, the part tied to repetitive thought and rigid ego identity, and into the limbic and sensory systems, the places where emotion and body memory live. That's why creativity is so potent. It bypasses the loop of thought and reconnects you with a deeper intelligence. The body remembers, the body knows. And when you give it freedom to move, to express, to create without expectation, intuition rises effortlessly from beneath the surface. What does that really mean? It means that creativity softens the grip of the ego and amplifies the quiet voice beneath it. That's why ideas often arrive during a walk, why clarity appears in the steam of a shower, or why a 5-minute sketch reveals more than hours of overthinking ever could. Creativity bypasses the mental filter and allows deeper intelligence to surface. I once heard a woman share that after years of analyzing her pain in therapy, she stepped into a single dance session alone, with nothing but music and the glow of a candle. Within an hour, something inside her shifted. Tears flowed, not from sorrow, but from release, from remembering. She told me that one movement revealed more truth than years of talking ever did. Why? Because the body stores what the mind avoids, and intuition doesn't demand clarity, it asks for courage, the courage to feel without explaining. Think about your own life. Have you ever found yourself doodling absent-mindedly on a page and later realizing that the shapes reflected exactly how you felt? Or written without intention, only to uncover insights that startled you with their honesty? That isn't random. That is your deeper wisdom slipping through past the gatekeeper of logic, finally finding space to be heard. Yet most people dismiss these moments. They tell themselves they aren't creative. They call it frivolous, unproductive, unnecessary. They believe growth comes only through discipline and structure. But what if that belief is the very wall that blocks your intuitive channel? What if the fastest way to hear your inner voice is not by tightening, but by loosening, by letting energy move, and by expressing what words cannot capture, imperfectly, messily, beautifully? Here lies the paradox. Intuition isn't found in answers, it's found in expression. Whether through movement, music, paint, rhythm, flavor, or the lens of a camera, every authentic act of creation is like a beacon to the field saying, "I am listening now." And the field, always faithful, responds. So if you find yourself stuck in thought, paralyzed by indecision, try this. Close the door, put on a song that stirs something in you, turn off the lights, and let your body move. No choreography, no judgment, just motion, breath, rhythm. You might laugh, you might cry, you might feel nothing at first. All of it is welcome, because the point isn't perfection, the point is permission. Permission for your body to speak what your mind cannot translate. And here's the truth you'll rediscover. When you create without control, you remember what was never lost. You already know. You always have. Not for performance, but for connection. You unlock the most magnetic and trustworthy compass of all. The next layer is beauty, not as decoration, not as something extra to admire, but as one of the most advanced intuitive signals your body can recognize. Beauty recalibrates your system. It slows your mind, synchronizes your heart, and expands your perception until you remember. You're not moving through life alone. Life is speaking back to you all the time. Think about it. The way light shifts across your floor in the morning. The way the sky holds its breath just before rain. The way a song brings tears without reason, or how a stranger's smile can soften your chest instantly. These are not accidents. They are signals. They are resonance made visible, audible, tangible. They are the field reminding you, keep going. Beauty is not random, it's feedback. It's the language of coherence. The same spirals, ratios, and patterns that nature endlessly repeats, etched inside you too. And when you notice it, really notice it, your body aligns, your nervous system calms, your awareness expands. In that state of coherence, intuition flows without obstruction. But here's the part many people miss. Beauty only reveals itself when you slow down enough to see it. Most of us rush, override awe with logic, drown out wonder with noise. We treat beauty as background, a luxury for when we have time. And in doing so, we silence the most precise compass available to us. So here's your invitation. Pause more often, look closer. Let the simple become sacred again. The shift in the wind, the rhythm of your own breath, the warmth in your chest when you laugh. Don't brush them aside, receive them as messages. Each moment of beauty is a breadcrumb leading you back to yourself. And when you start to follow those breadcrumbs, something changes. You begin to move differently. Decisions feel less forced, more guided. Opportunities arrive not by accident, but by resonance. You stop chasing signs and realize you are already swimming in them. Beauty is not a reward at the end of the path. Beauty is the path itself. So let your body notice. Let your intuition respond. Let beauty lead you home. And if this spoke to something inside you, stay close. This space is for those who want to live from resonance, not routine. For those who are ready to let intuition become their native language again. Share in the comments what beauty has been whispering to you lately. Because the more we notice together, the louder the signal becomes. Take a breath. Look around. The next sign is already here. If this touched something inside you, let it ripple outward. Share in the comments. Beauty is guiding me. Not just as words, but as a declaration to your own body that you are listening again. And if you want to keep walking this path together, stay here. Follow along. Because each time you pause with me, breathe with me, and notice with me, the signal of intuition grows stronger. Not just for you, but for all of us. Take this moment. Feel your breath. Look around. The next sign of beauty is already waiting.